slide here is an MRI, and it is depicting fatty infiltration of the multifidi muscles, okay, our paraspinal muscles. There is lots and lots of research that has documented this fatty infiltration of the muscles when people have chronic low back pain. Okay, and if you think about fatty infiltration and muscles, when does that occur? Okay, the body is putting fat inside those muscles. Why? Subluxation, yeah, because they're not moving. The muscle is become inactive, it's switched off, it's not moving anymore. Okay, and the body is like, what's going on here? Let's put in a bit of fat, because it does that, stores fat wherever it wants to, if it needs to. Okay, so inside the multifidi, we've got fatty infiltration. Do you think your patients with chronic subluxations have this too? Very much so. And how do we change this? What's the thing we would need to do in order to get the muscles moving again? Something called an adjustment. Yeah, the adjustment. You are switching on those muscles again. And we are going to start training those muscles up again. It's like sending them to the gym. We've got subluxations that are going to be removed from this, and the fatty infiltration will go down. We don't actually have that part of the research yet, but it's in process. We're going to actually do MRIs of people before they've had chiropractic care, and then we're going to track those MRI changes and what's happening to the paraspinals, which will be so cool. Just need to get that done. So the adjustment. Let's talk about the science of the adjustment. This is one of our technique mentors at the college adjusting a participant in one of our studies, which I have permission to share. This is what's happening. Okay, when you deliver that adjustment, we're going to get really technical and sciencey about it. We're stretching those paraspinal muscles. It is firing off the muscle spindles and sending a whole bunch of sensory information to the brain. Accurate sensory information. Okay, the brain takes that information in and it learns and processes from that information. And now we've got clear input and we have clear output. Okay, and this is what you guys are doing all the time. Okay, you are changing how the brain is able to sense what is happening inside the body, respond appropriately to its environment, and create adaptive plastic changes in the brain. Improved body awareness, definitely less pain, and that's good for people. Improved function, really important stuff. There's another way to say it: adjustment, joint moves properly. We've got the muscles switched on, we've got appropriate information to the brain, appropriate integration of that information, and better control of the spine. Love it. This other thing that happens, which we call interoception and exteroception. Okay, interoception is what is happening inside your body, and exteroception is what's happening outside the body. And we want to be able to sense that really accurately, and the adjustment is doing that for people. Okay, this is what you're switching on. Interoception is not just I'm feeling hungry or I need to go to the toilet. It's everything. It's your body's awareness of self. It is when it is able to detect your emotions, how you're feeling, how you're responding to stress. That is interoception. So you are actually helping people to sense themselves better with your adjustments. That's interoception, better awareness of self. And exteroception is important. We want to be able to know what is happening in our environment. We want to be able to detect that properly, and we want to be able to sense what is happening and respond. Okay, everything that anyone is doing as they walk around in their life, they need to be able to respond to their environment and to respond to what's happening inside and to respond to what's happening outside. You want to know if that is a hose or a snake. Not in New Zealand, because we don't have any snakes, but here in Australia, where everything is trying to kill you, you want to be able to do this very well. So this is exteroception. The other thing that adjustments do and chiropractic care does is increases or helps people stay in their optimal adaptive range. And the adaptive range is how well your body can respond to what's happening and how well it can adapt to all of that. Do we want to be adaptive human beings? It's like number one. This is what we want for our people. We want them to be able to adapt, and we want them to stay in this optimal homeostasis, okay, where they can respond to everything the best they can. This is going to get a little bit technical, but it's really cool stuff, so stay with me. All right, there's something called the triple brain network. And our research has been consistently picking up, we do a lot of EEG research, looking at the brain waves, and it has been consistently picking up this pattern, which we are activating something called this triple brain network. In particular, that middle one called the default mode network. And the default mode network is kind of like when you, hopefully not now because you're hopefully paying attention, but when you are internally reflecting and you're not thinking or focusing on anything about what's happening around you, when you are reflecting on self, kind of a bit of daydreaming, that's your default mode network in action. It is internal self-awareness, okay? And we have consistently found in our studies that we are activating the default mode network. So we have clear, documented evidence that we are improving interoception. So we know what's happening inside us better. And then we have something called the salience network, and that is when it's kind of like the conductor of the orchestra. It's kind of telling which brain regions need to be switched on. And we have the executive center, which is for our task planning and a lot of motor control, a lot of pain reception. And these are all connecting together. And this is a direct quote from one of our recent studies. It is likely that the functional connectivity changes, which is brain regions talking to it themselves, found within the default mode network in the current study between pre-intervention, which is pre-chiropractic, and post 4 weeks of chiropractic, reflect a difference in how the study participants were reflecting on themselves and their everyday experiences over time. It might not seem like that matters. Oh, they're just thinking about themselves a little bit more. But what happens when people are in pain is that they ruminate on that and they get really, really stuck inside themselves. And what we see is that in lots and lots of research, the default mode network is either underactive or overactive in lots of mental health disorders and neurodevelopmental disorders.